Let us pray. Almighty God, who in your wisdom and goodness have appointed the offices of leaders and the county assemblies for the welfare of society and the just government of the people, we beseech you to behold with your abundant favor as the servants whom you have been pleased to call to the performance of important trusts in this republic. Let your blessings descend upon us here assembled, and grant that we treat and consider all matters that shall come under deliberation in so just and faithful a manner as to promote your honor and glory, and to advance the peace, prosperity, and welfare of our country, and of those whose interests you have committed to our charge. Amen. Clerk, can you please take us through the order paper of the day?
Third Assembly, second session. Order paper number 160 of today, Wednesday, 20th September 2023 at 2:30 p.m. Order number 1, administration of oath.
Next order.
Order number 2, communication from the chair.
Next order.
Order number 3, messages.
Next order.
Order number 4, petitions.
Next order.
Order number 5, papers.
Next order.
Order number 6, notices of motion.
Next order.
Order number 7, statements.
Honorable members, it's statement hour. So I'll open the floor for any statement. Next order.
Commencement of business. Order number 8, motion on adoption of the report by PICPA Committee on the consideration of the Auditor General's reports on financial statements of Kisumu County Executive Car Loan and Mortgage Scheme Fund for the year ended 30th June 2021 and the year ended 30th June 2022 by the Honorable Kennedy Ouko.
Yes, Honorable Kennedy Ouko.
Thank you, Lady Speaker. Honorable Speaker, on behalf of the Public Accounts and Investment Committee, PICPAC, and pursuant to the Kisumu County Assembly Standing Orders 188, I wish to present to this House the report of the Committee on the audited financial statement of Kisumu County Executive Car Loan and Mortgage Scheme Fund for the financial year 2020, 2021, and 2021-2022. The County Assembly exercises oversight over county government entities, stock investments, and their expenditure pursuant to Article 185.3 of the Constitution of Kenya 2010 through the Public Accounts and Investment Committee, which in turn derives its mandate from the County Assembly Standing Orders. Honorable Speaker, Article 229.8 of the Constitution of Kenya 2010 requires the County Assembly within the 3 months after receiving an audit report to debate, consider the report and take action, appropriate action. The committee held 2 sittings during which it receives both written and oral evidence from the accounting officer on audit queries raised by the Auditor General on the financial statement of Kisumu County Car Loan and Mortgage Scheme Fund. Honorable Speaker, I wish to register my appreciation to the following honorable members of the committee, to fellow honorable members of the committee, the Office of the Speaker, the Clerks of the Assembly, Committee Secretariat, and the Office of the Auditor General for facilitation and technical support that made the production of this report possible. I also thank the management of Kisumu County Executive Car Loan and Mortgage Scheme Fund for the improvement recorded in the management of the fund, honoring committee invitations and submissions of response on time. Special appreciations go to Hansard Department for ensuring that all our meetings with accounting officers are broadcasted live. Honorable Speaker, on behalf of the Public Accounts and Investment Committee, I now wish to table the report on the consideration of the Auditor General report on the financial statement of the Kisumu County Executive Car Loan and Mortgage Scheme Fund for the year ended 30th June 2021 and 30th June 2022, and I urge this House to adopt it. Establishment and mandate of the Public Accounts and Investment Committee. Honorable Speaker, the Public Accounts and Investment Committee is established under Standing Order number 188 of the Kisumu County Assembly Standing Orders, and it is mandated to undertake the following functions. 1, examination of the account showing the appropriation of the sum voted by the County Assembly to meet the public expenditure, and of such or other accounts laid before the House at the committee as the committee may think fit. 2, examination of the working of the public investment. 3, examine the report and accounts of the public investment. And 4, examine in the context of the autonomy and efficiency of the public investment whether the affairs of the public investments are being managed in accordance with sound financial and business principles and prudence commercial practice. The committee, as currently constituted, comprises of the following honorable members. Committee membership, as at April 2023, Honorable Ken Ouko, Chairperson, Honorable Geoffrey Warindu, Vice Chair, Honorable Seto Kumu, Member, Nancy Matara, Honorable, Member, Honorable Ruben Rakwach, Member, Honorable James Were, Member, Honorable James Umolo, Member, Secretariat, Mr. Hostin Chieng, Committee Clerk, Crispin Oguta, Clerk Assistant, Patrick Okoyo, Hansard Reporter, CPN Abuta Odero, Internal Auditor, and Mr. William Ogada, Sergeant at Arms. Legal framework and guiding principles. The committee was guided by the following legal instruments. 1, Constitution of Kenya 2010, Article 229, 4 of the Constitution of Kenya 2010 requires the Auditor General within a period of 6 months after the end of each financial year to audit and report in respect of that financial year on 1, the accounts of the national government and county government, national and county governments. 2, the accounts of all funds and authorities of the national and county government. 3, accounts of courts, of all courts. 4, the accounts of every commission and independent office established by this constitution. 5, the accounts of National Assembly, the Senate, and the county assemblies. 6, the account of the political parties funded from the public fund. 7, the public debt. And 8, the accounts of any other entity that legislation requires the Auditor General to audit. Article 229(8) further states that within 3 months after receiving an audit report, Parliament or County Assembly shall debate and consider the reports and take appropriate action. Direct personal liability. Article 226(5) of the Constitution is unequivocal that if the holder of public office or political office directs or approves the use of public fund contrary to the law or instructions, the person is liable for any loss arising from that use and shall make good the loss, whether the person remains the office holder or not. 2, Public Audit Act 2015 Section 7 mandates the Auditor General to, 1, give assurance on the effectiveness of Auditor General's effectiveness of internal control, risk management, and overall governance of national and county governments. 3, undertake audit activities in the state organ and a public entity to confirm whether or not the public money has been applied lawfully and in an effective way. 3, Section 203(1) of the Public Finance Management Act 2012 enacts that a public officer is personally liable for any loss sustained by the county government and is attributed to 1, the fraudulent or corrupt conduct or negligence of the officer, or the officer having done any act prohibited by Section 196, 197, and 198. 4, Public Finance Management Act 2012, Section 149(1) of the Public Finance Management Act 2012, which says that an accounting officer is accountable to the county assembly for ensuring that the resources of the entity for which the officer is designated are used in a way that is lawful and authorized and effective, efficient, and economical and transparent. Guiding principle. Honorable Speaker, in the execution of the mandate, the committee was guided by the constitutional and the statutory principles on public finance management. These principles include the following: 1, constitutional principle on public finance. Article 10(201) of the Constitution of Kenya 2010 provides for the fundamental principles aimed at guiding all aspects of public finance. It says that the principles are interlayered. 1, openness and accountability, including public participation in financial matters. 2, public money shall be used in a prudent and responsible way. And 3, financial management shall be responsible and fiscal reporting shall be clear. The committee considered these legal provisions and guiding principles as the basis for holding to account public officers directly and personally liable for any loss of public fund that may occur under their watch. Report of the Auditor General on the financial statement of the Kisumu County Executive Car Loan and Mortgage Scheme Fund for the year ended 30th June 2021. Honorable Speaker, CPA Evans Otieno, the fund administrator and the accounting officer, appeared before the committee on 8th June 2023 to adduce evidence on the audited financial statement of the Kisumu County Executive Car Loan and Mortgage Scheme Fund for the year ended 30th June 2021 and 30th June 2022. The minutes and the submission from the accounting officer are annexed to this report. You can see at back there, you will see. He was accompanied by Mr. Wilson Abiero, acting chief officer, as at the time of committee deliberations. The following officers represented the Office of the Auditor General in the committee meeting of 8th June 2023. Mr. Samuel Chege, that is the auditor. Mr. Kennedy Oenga is also one of the auditors. Basis for qualified opinion, financial year 2020-2021. Long outstanding loans. The statement of financial position and corresponding note 6 of the financial statement reflect long-term receivable from exchange transaction balance of Kenya shillings 10 million and 729, which includes an amount of 8,041,511 due from staff who have since left employment and have remained unpaid since April 2020 and earlier years. The outstanding balance of Kenya shillings 8,041,511 comprises of 2,216,164, which was secured by the logbooks and or title deeds, and Kenya shillings of 5,825,347 relating to the year 2016, which was not secured by any collateral. Although the management has indicated that the outstanding loans will be recovered from gratuity due to staff that have left employment. No proper reason was given as to why the outstanding amount have not been recovered in accordance with Regulation 17 of Kisumu County Car Loan and Mortgage Scheme Fund Regulations 2016 and Section 19 of Kenya Kisumu County Car and Mortgage Scheme Fund Regulation 2016, which requires management to repossess and sell the assets finance to recover outstanding loan balances. In the circumstances, the recoverability of the outstanding loan balance of Kenya shillings 8,041,511 is in doubt. Management response. Of the secured amount of Kenya shillings 2,216,164, we have fully recovered 1,660,434 with a balance of 639,199 to be recovered from Alice Mora. Initially, we had written to the county attorney to institute recovery procedures of the same through disposal of a parcel of land. However, Alice Mora had written to us of her intent to clear the balance before 30th June 2023 from the sale proceed of the parcel of land. Loans advanced to the CEC in the previous regimes have been fully recovered from the gratitude due as stipulated below, in line with Section 14(2) of the regulations. You can see that table. Alice Mora, amount is 1,400,562. Gratitude recovered is 761. That is what 367. Balance he had 639,195. The gratuity, the loan was partially actually recovered. John Obiero had a loan of 815,602. Gratuity, he had 869,067. So it means he had no balance. The loan was fully recovered. That actually was totaling to 2,216,164. And the gratuity was 1,660,434. So it means the balance of the good lady Mora is what is remaining there. Now, to Mr. George Anyaya, it should be George Anyonga. I think there's some kind of misprint here. Had loan amount of 1,504,435. That gratuity due for him was 1,504,434. That means the loan was fully recovered from the gratuity. Now, Mrs. Elizabeth Ogaja had 1,661,661, and the gratuity was the same. The loan was fully recovered. Mrs. Jennifer Atieno Kere had a loan of 703,353, and had the same gratuity. It was recovered from that gratuity. So she had nil. Mr. Stephen Orot had 955,892. Gratuity was 742. And 742,082. And it means there was a balance of 218, which was later paid. And since now, that was paid through the check-off system, and it was cleared. So the total was 5,825,347 hundreds. The total gratuity was 5,825,347. That is the same. grand total was 8,041,511 against 7,485,781. So you can understand that that is now from Mora. Mora is the only person who has never actually cleared anything. Committee observations. One, the management have fully recovered Kenya shillings 1,660,434 with a balance of 639,195 to be recovered from Alice Mora. Excuse me. On this balance, the management had written to the county attorney to institute recovery procedures of the same through disposal of the parcel of land to which the title management holds. Two, Alice Mora wrote to the management to inform them of her intent to clear the balance before 30th June 2023 from the sale of proceeds of a different parcel of land. Three, that some loans were advanced without security. Committee recommendations that the management of Kisumu County Executive Car Loan and Mortgage Scheme Fund submit to this assembly a report on the recovery of Kenya shillings 639,195 from Alice Mora in a period of 90 days upon adoption of this report. Two, that failure of the Alice Mora to clear the outstanding loan as per her request letter, the accounting officers should dispose the said parcel of land to recover the outstanding loan. Three, that failure by the accounting officer to recover the outstanding loan from Alice Mora, as stated in two above, the county executive committee member for finance, economic planning, and ICT immediately initiated recovery of the amount of 639,195 from the account due for the accounting officer, Mr. Evans Otieno. Four, that going forward, the management must adhere to the Kisumu County Car Loan and Mortgage Schemes Fund, Regulation 2016, Regulation 19.1, which states that where a borrower defaults in repayments of the loan for a period of 4 consecutive months, the committee shall repossess and sell the property to another deserving member or employee at the first instance, and therefore to any willing buyer. Five, that going forward, the fund management must ensure that all loans are fully secured. Six, that this issue remains unresolved and supported prior year adjustment balance. The statement of changes in asset management reflects prior year adjustment of about Kenya shillings 935,628. However, management did not provide for audit any supporting document to show the justification of adjustments and why the adjustment was not processed in line with IPSAS 3. In the circumstances, the accuracy of the balance of accumulated deficit balance of Kenya shillings 10,645,325 could not be confirmed. Management response. Prior year adjustment generally led to interest receivable that was being accounted for incorrectly, but has now been corrected as per the attached. It is attached there. Committee observations. The Office of the Auditor General confirmed that they had verified the document provided and that the correction had been made by the management. Committee recommendations that this matter is resolved. And resolve prior year matters. In the audit report of the previous year, several issues were raised under the report on financial statement. Report on lawlessness, effectiveness in use of public resource. However, the management has not received the issue or given any explanation for failure to adhere to the provisions of the Public Sector Accounting Standard Board template. Management response. This was an oversight which has been corrected in the subsequent financial year financial statements. Committee observations. The Office of the Auditor General confirmed that the error had been corrected in the subsequent financial year. Committee recommendations that this matter is resolved. Inadequate capital of the fund. The statement of changes in net assets reflect revolving fund balance of Kenya shillings 32,295,000 as at 30th June 2021, which is less than the minimum amount of Kenya shillings 127,705 127,705,000. The fund capital has further been depleted from 32,392,000 to Kenya shillings 21,649,113 as a result of accumulated deficit, which stood at Kenya shillings 10,645,887 as at 30th June 2021. The fund may not be in a position to process loan applications as outlined in Regulations 14(4) of the fund regulations. In the circumstances, management was in a breach of law. Management response: we acknowledge that the fund is underfunded, which is attributed to budgetary and financial constraints. However, the county factored in the supplementary budget an amount of Kenya shillings 20 million, which was to be utilized to finance loan applications. Committee observations. 1. The fund remained underfunded contrary to Kisumu County Car Loan Scheme Fund Regulation 2016. 2. That county factored in the supplementary budget of financial year 2020-2023 an amount of Kenya shillings 20 million, which was to be utilized to finance loan applications. Committee recommendation. This issue remained unresolved. It was not resolved at all. Report of the auditor, that was the first, I think you can understand. We had audited statement of 2020, 2021, 2022. So this is now a report of the Auditor General on the financial statement of the Kisumu County Executive Car Loan, a mortgage scheme fund for the year 30th June 2022. And supported cash and cash equivalents. The statement of financial position reflects cash and cash equivalent balance of Kenya shillings 16,273,159 as disclosed in Note 5 to the financial statement. However, the bank reconciliation statement reflects a receipt in cash book, but not in the bank statement totaling to 5,354,093, out of which an amount of 242,640 was not supported with the relevant documents. In circumstances, the accuracy and completeness of the cash and cash equivalent balance of Kenya shillings 242,640 could not be confirmed. Management response. The amount of Kenya shillings 242,000 as reflected in the attached bank statement relate to partial gratuity recovery from Stephen Orot. Committee observation. The supporting document had been provided to the auditors as at the time of committee deliberations. 2, the management had not been provided with the bank statements as at the time of audit. 3, the auditors confirmed verification of the same. Committee recommendations, it is very clear that this matter was resolved, and it is resolved. Prior year adjustment in cash and cash equivalents. The statement of cash flow and as disclosed under Note 9 to the financial statement reflect an amount of Kenya shillings 144,071 as prior year adjustment in cash and cash equivalent for transactions that happened in the month of October 2019, amounting to Kenya shillings 176,570, and receipts amount to Kenya shillings 32,496 in the bank statement that had not been recorded in the cash book. However, the adjustment amount did not appear in the bank reconciliation statement. In the circumstances, the accuracy of the prior year adjustment could not be confirmed. Management's response. Prior year adjustment relate to receipts that were double posted in the cash books in the month of October 2019, totaling to Kenya shillings 176,570, and received receipts in banks not in cash book, Kenya shillings 32,499, as shown here below. Prior year adjustment statement, the net asset amount posted. A beneficiary, Dr. Matthew Uchengowili, 110,670. Mr. Alice Mora, 44,269. Dr. Rosemary Akinyo Keyo Obara, 21,626. That now totaling revolving fund of 176, which was in question 570. Loans and receipts. John Obiero Gone, 304, 32,499. You can remember his gratuity was a bit higher than that. The prior year adjustment of 140 committee observations, the prior year adjustment of Kenya 144,071 was sufficiently addressed at the time of committee deliberations. Committee recommendations that this issue was resolved. Long outstanding doubtful debts. The statement of financial position reflects balances of Kenya shillings 3,454,689 and Kenya shillings of 1,887,616 in respect of long-term receivable from exchange transaction, respectively, all amounting to 5,342,298. The balance includes principal and interest amount of Kenya shillings 2,770,279, owed by staff who have since left employment and has remained outstanding since October 2019. Although management has explained and provided correspondence made by the Attorney General to the borrower, no further evidence was provided on the measures taken against the defaulters to recover the loans in accordance with Regulation 17 of Kisumu County Car Loan and Mortgage Scheme Fund Regulations 2016. In the circumstances, the recoverability of the receivable amounting to Kenya shillings 2,770,279 remain doubtful. Management response. We acknowledge that there is no non-compliance with Section 17 and 19 of the fund regulations regarding recoveries from the former CECs. We have fully recovered from Mr. John Obiero and Mr. Ruth Odinga, while partially Mrs. Alice Mora, as stipulated below. The delay in complying with Section 14.2 of the regulation is attributed to lack of budgetary allocations. The table, you can go through that table, it's very clear. Alice Mora is partially recovered. John Obiero Gone, Mr. fully recovered. Mrs. Ruth A. Odinga, fully recovered. Committee observations. One, as the committee deliberations, Alice Mora loan had hit Kenya shilling 681,794 from Kenya shilling 639,194 in 2020-2021 due to accrued interest. Two, there has been non-compliance with Section 19 of Car Loan and Mortgage Scheme Fund Regulation 2016 that provide for disposal of asset financed by the loan in case of default. You can remember those were some of the recommendations we were having before in pertaining to this. Committee recommendations that the management of Kisumu County Executive Car Loan and Mortgage Scheme Fund submit to this assembly a report of the recovery of Kenya shilling 681,794,000 from hundreds from Alice Mora in a period of 90 days upon adoption of this report. Two, that failure by Alice Mora to clear the outstanding loan by the time of submission of the report mentioned in one above, the accounting officer should dispose their said parcel of land to recover the outstanding loan. That failure by the accounting officer to recover the outstanding loan from Alice Mora, as stated in 2 above, the County Executive Committee, member for Finance, Economic Planning and NCT, immediately initiated recovery of amount of Kenya shilling 681,794 from the account due to the accounting officer, Mr. Evans Otieno. Remember, Mr. Evans Otieno is the accounting officer for the fund. 4, that going forward, the management must adhere to the Kisumu County Car Loan and Mortgage Scheme Fund, Regulation 2016, Regulation 19.1, which says that where a borrower defaults in repayment of the loan for a period of 4 consecutive months, the committee shall repossess and sell the property to another deserving member or employees at the first instance, and therefore to any willing buyer. 5, that going forward, management must ensure that loans are fully secured. 6, that this issue remain unresolved. Inadequate fund capital. Regulation 5 of the Kisumu County Car Loan Mortgage Scheme Fund regulations. Remember, we are reading 2 reports at the same time, and you can compare the other one for 2020, 2021, then 2021, 2022. Regulation 5 of the Kisumu County Car Loan and Mortgage Scheme Fund, Regulation 2, 2016, states that the fund shall consist of capital of Kenya shillings 60 million and Kenya shillings 100 million for a car loan and mortgage respectively, all amounting to Kenya shillings 160. However, the statement of the changes in net assets reflect as revolving fund balance of Kenya shillings 32 million 295 shillings as at June 2022, resulting to an explained shortfall of 127,705,000. In the circumstances, management was in a breach of the law. Management response. We acknowledge the fact that the fund is underfunded, which is attributed to budgetary and financial constraint. However, the county factored in supplementary budget on amount of 20 million, which will be utilized to finance loan application as per the attached budget. I think when you are very keen, you can see the same answer being given to 2020, from 2021, 2022. Committee observations, the management response, that is the management response. Committee observations, the fund is still operating with inadequate capital. Now the committee recommendations, that was just an observation. This is the matter is unresolved. Then general observation now. Honorable Speaker, the following general observations were made. That the management of Kisumu County Car Loan and Mortgage Scheme Fund advanced some loans without security. 2, there has been non-compliance with Section 19 of Kisumu County Car Loan and Mortgage Scheme Fund Regulations 2016. General recommendations. That going forward, the management must ensure that all loans are fully secured. 2, that going forward, the management must adhere to the Kisumu County Car Loan and Mortgage Scheme Fund, Regulation 2016, Regulation 19.1, which says that whereas a borrower defaults in repayments of loan for a period of 4 consecutive months, the committee shall repossess and sell the property to another deserving member or employees of the first employee at the first instance, and therefore to any and thereafter to any willing buyer. Conclusion. I hereby request that, Lady Speaker, I hereby request that this House adopts this report of public accounts and investment committee on the consideration of Auditor General report on the financial statement of Kisumu County Executive Car Loan and Mortgage Scheme Fund for the year ended 30th June 2021 and 2022. May I call upon Honorable Ruben Rakwach to second. Thank you.
Yes, Honorable Ruben Rakwach.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, I rise to second the motion. Honorable Speaker, I wish to encourage the Car Loan and Mortgage Management Committee to initiate the process of recovering the part of the loan that has not been paid by one Alice Moore. as has been recommended by this report, and it is upon the implementation committee to do a follow-up to ensure that that recommendation is implemented. At the same time, I want to make an observation about the loan that was owned by George Anyonga, that it was not fully recovered, because in accounting, even cents count, there is 1 shilling that has not been recovered. So I think we have taken note of that. Otherwise, I second the report. Thank you.
Honorable members, now that the report by the Public Accounts and Investments Committee on the examination of the report of the Auditor General on the financial statement of the Kisumu County Car Loan and Mortgage Scheme Fund for the year ended 30th of June 2021 and 30th of June 2022 has been presented and seconded as per standing orders, I want to propose that the report by the PICPAC Committee on the examination of the report of the Auditor General on the financial statement of the Kisumu County Car Loan and Mortgage Scheme Fund for the year ended 30th of June 2021 and 30th of June 2022 is now open for debate. Yes, Honorable James Were of Nyalenda B.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, I also rise to add my voice on the report. Madam Speaker, first of all, I want to commend the committee for a job well done because they have thoroughly researched and going by the observations and the recommendation, Madam Speaker, we want to put the executive wing of the government to ensure that every regulation that are put in place is followed to the letter. Madam Speaker, one former CEC member, Alice Mora, is still owing the government money. And if you look at the report, some recoveries were done and some are still pending. Madam Speaker, we want to put the executive to task to ensure that full recovery is done. And Madam Speaker, I want to put a request to this Honorable House. We have to put executive to task because every fund that is created has a regulation that is supposed to guide the usage of that fund. Madam Speaker, that should be followed to ensure that full recovery is done. And Madam Speaker, I beg to support. Thank you.
Yes, Honorable Tom Nyaoke of North Nyakach.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I once again stand in this House to give my support to the report, which has just been read by my good friend, Honorable Ouko, being the chair of the PICPAC. Madam Speaker, it is reasonably common sense that loans, in the whole world practice, a loan is given under some security that has to be put forward before any loan is acquired, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, from all this report, we have seen one person being mentioned severally who didn't actually finish paying back the loans that was advanced to her. But we appreciate the fact that even the management have tried to follow up this issue. And in this report, it is indicating that some recoveries have been made from that particular individual. Madam Speaker, going forward, the recommendation that has been given by this committee, I'm certainly sure that if the management can put that into practice by making sure that any loan advance to any person must be secured. It is from these securities, Madam Speaker, that we will able to sustain the recoveries of the loans which are being advanced to the members. Madam Speaker, that is why I take this opportunity to thank the committee and to prevail upon the members to adopt this report so that these actions that we demand to be done by the management to be followed, and that is what is going to help us going forward. Madam Speaker, if these recommendations are not done by securing all the loans that are being advanced to members, we risk again the situation where members maybe go home or leave their job positions without necessarily clearing their loans because they know very well on the onset that they didn't put any security to secure for those loans that they have been given. It is in this basis, Madam Speaker, that I prevail upon the members to approve this report so that these actions that have been, the observations that have been noted by the committee are put into place to make sure that the management adheres to these regulations and the proposals that have been given. I beg to support. Thank you.
Yes, Honorable Geoffrey Warindo of Miwani Ward.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Let me also take this opportunity to appreciate the work that was done by the committee and the committee clerks. And I want to believe it is through this report and the work that was done that we've managed to recover some of the monies that were to get lost. And it's still, I still don't understand how a fund account can be created without proper policies and regulations when the loans are being advanced. And I want to believe this is now almost the third term since the devolution started. All the fund accounts that are in Kisumu County, we need to be very keen on them and find out what they are doing with those funds. If there are policies and guidelines to be followed, let those policies and guidelines to be followed. If you are a fund manager, you can't just advance a loan without a collateral security, so that such that when one defaults in paying the loan, we can recover the money from that. I want to believe going forward, up to this point, the car loan and mortgage fund management has adopted the regulations and policies to caution the county from losing such amount of money. One of the names has featured there prominently, and I don't wish to discuss more about that. It was the fund management undoing that the money was not recovered. And I want to believe that all the monies that were advanced, even the ones that are being advanced, will be recovered in good time. I stand to support the adoption of the report. Thank you.
Yes, Honorable Benson Adega.
Going by the mood of the House, Madam Speaker, let the mover reply.
Honorable Ken Ouko, the floor is yours.
Thank you very much, Lady Speaker. It is our duty as an oversight authority to look into affairs of the executive. And by the law, it is defined very clearly that that is our main role. For one, where we talk about underfunding, which actually was explained very clearly due to budgetary constraints, we realize this fund is underfunded truly. Remember, there was a provision of some kind of money and this money is not enough, the 20 million. So they also appeal to the House to help them get full amount as required by law and by the regulations. Then we also have the recovery of George Anyonga's money. You can remember it was advanced 1,504,335, and unfortunately paid 1,504,334. By law, is still owing the county 1 shilling, and I wonder whether it is also coming up with some interest. I hope it should be. You can remember 2021, the account of this mortgage loan and car was not reflecting so nicely. But this time, 2020, 2022, it is evident that most of those who are loaned paid their loans. And it is only this lady by the name Mora who is still could not be found because of ABCD. But you realize she had the security there. She deposited security, title deed. It is only that there was some kind of preference given to her, which was not explained very clearly by writing a letter requesting that she will pay, and she's still paying up to now. So that is why we came up with such kind of recommendations to the executive to act very fast. And I agree with the members here that the regulations have to be followed. If they are there, because it is there, Regulation 19 of the county government car loan and mortgage scheme, Regulation 19 is very clear on these matters. So the fund administrator must follow the regulations as required by law. Otherwise, thank you so much. We are happy that we are moving somewhere. At least we are on the book that we are doing the kind of work which actually specify our roles in the House. Thank you so much. Thank you, Lady Speaker.
Honorable members, the report by the Public Accounts and Investment Committee on the examination of the report of the Auditor General on the financial statement of the Kisumu County Car Loan and Mortgage Scheme Fund for the year ended 30th of June 2021 and 30th of June 2022 has been presented, seconded, and debated, and it's time for me to put a question. And I propose that as many as of the opinion that the report by the Public Accounts and Investments Committee on the examination of the report of the Auditor General on the financial statement of the Kisumu County Car Loan and Mortgage Scheme Fund for the year ended 30th of June 2021 and 30th of June 2022 be adopted. And for as many as of the opinion say aye. And as the contrary opinion say nay. The ayes have it. And the report by the Committee on Public Accounts and Investment Committee on the examination of the report of the Auditor General on the financial statement of the Kisumu County Car Loan and Mortgage Scheme Fund for the year ended 30th of June 2021 and 30th of June 2022 has been adopted today, Wednesday, the 20th of September 2023 at 3:28 p.m. And I direct that the report, together with the answered report, be submitted to the relevant department for purpose of implementation.